Is American Idol on tonight? Voting opens, but the bigger shift is where the power moved. If you're asking, is American Idol on tonight? The clearest answer in the latest episode coverage is this. The competition has entered a decisive phase where viewers now control who stays and who goes. The top 20 have been set. The show's mentors and guest judge helped shape performances in Hawaii, and voting has officially begun, along with a major change in how fans are expected to participate. Is American Idol on tonight? What changed the moment the top 20 were confirmed? This week's framing is blunt. The power shifts now that judges Carrie Underwood, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan have narrowed the field to the top 20, placing outcomes in viewers' hands. The episode's performances took place in Hawaii at Aulani, a Disney resort and spa in Ko Olina, Hawaii, where contestants performed for viewer votes for the first time this season. Two special mentors were featured. Brad Paisley, identified as a Grammy-winning country singer, and Keke Palmer, identified as an Emmy-winning actress and singer. Palmer also appeared as a guest judge, joining Underwood, Richie, and Bryan at the judging table. The episode also included a performance from I Am Tanguy, identified as the season 21 winner, singing the title track from his debut album, It's Good for My Soul. Tanguy later performed a duet of Island Style with Thunderstorm Artis, identified as a season 23 finalist. What are the official ways to vote now, and what does retiring the app signal? Host Ryan Seacrest announced a key operational change. The American Idol app has been retired. Fans can still vote through multiple channels, but the show is steering participation into methods it can standardize across platforms. The coverage describes 3 ways to vote: voting online, voting by text message, and voting through social media engagement on the show's accounts. The social media option is described as a first in the show's history, expanding the voting footprint beyond the traditional pathways. Voting limits were also spelled out in the episode coverage. Viewers can vote up to 10 times per method, per platform, described as a total of 50 votes for a favorite contestant. That structure does more than encourage participation. It formalizes a high-volume voting system that can amplify coordinated fan behavior. For viewers still asking, is American Idol on tonight? The practical takeaway is that the act of watching is now inseparable from the act of voting. The show has moved past judge-driven cuts and into viewer-driven outcomes, with more voting surfaces than before. Who performed in part 1 of the top 20, and how did judges and mentors frame the stakes? The first half of the top 20 featured an eclectic set of performances and song choices, presented as a make-or-break round with viewer votes on the line. Contestants named in the episode breakdown include Micaiah, Jake Thistle, Genevieve Hayward, Daniel Stallworth, Kendall Inskeep, Cutter Bradley, Jesse Finling, Hannah Harper, Braden Rumfelt, and Brooks. Several performances were highlighted with direct on-air feedback from the judges and guest judge. Micaiah, age 24, hometown Pine Bluff, Arkansas, performed Bang Bang, Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj. Judge feedback included Carrie Underwood saying, "You understood the assignment. You have notes on notes on notes." Luke Bryan said, "You ain't in Arkansas no more. Your whole presentation was through the roof." Keke Palmer called it a crowd pleaser, and Lionel Richie praised the opening energy, saying, "That's how you start a show." Separate episode commentary described Palmer praising Micaiah for powering through a minor fumble. Jake Thistle, age 21, hometown Paramus, and Jay, performed The Power of Love, Huey Lewis and the News. Underwood described him as an old soul and noted he looked like he was having fun. Bryan emphasized control and branching into rock and roll. Palmer said he felt at home on stage. Richie made a comment framed as a compliment, asking if he detected sexy Jake. Additional episode commentary described mentor Brad Paisley advising Thistle to make his performance look more difficult, and Richie referencing an ugly face as a compliment. Genevieve Hayward, age 26, hometown Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, performed Pink Pony Club, Chapel Roan. Underwood said she liked that Hayward took a giant pop anthem and toughened it up a little bit. Bryan said his eyes find her on stage and praised her command. Palmer said, "You're so you," calling her vibe unique. Richie reacted with heightened praise, "It almost blew my wig off." Separate performance notes described the song choice as high energy and a chance to showcase more personality. Daniel Stallworth, age 27, hometown Moss Point, Mississippi, performed all night long, all night. Lionel Richie. Underwood called his voice insane and encouraged him to loosen up. Brian said Stallworth might be the best singer in this competition. Palmer joked she was sad it didn't last all night long. Across these segments, the episode's through line is not subtle. Contestants are no longer singing to survive a judge panel, they are singing to trigger votes. And with the new voting setup, text, online, and social, those votes are easier to cast repeatedly and publicly than in prior app-centered viewing routines. In other words, if the question is American Idol on tonight, the more consequential update is that the season has entered a viewer-governed phase. The top 20 are set, performances are explicitly designed for vote conversion, and the show has expanded the channels where audience decision-making can happen.